Yeah, so I did have a song. I saw this one the other day. It's not my traditional song. This is actually just a proper song, and it's an old song, and I'll probably screw it up, but it's dedicated to gin. So
okay.
So hopefully
the alcohol or the person from Lost?
Jen.
The person. We'll have to
not gin. Jen.
Oh, Jen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, no disrespect. I legit thought you said gin.
Not gin. Jen.
And so
that's see, this is the introduction from a Ramblecast of any. That's just like the Tennessean way of saying Jen is gin.
Is gin. Yeah.
That's
it's like there's no such thing as pin and pen or pin and pen. It's just pin. That's all. It's just one word. Anyway, all right. So, like I said, I'll probably mess it up, but here we go. Though the days are long, twilight sings a song of the happiness that used to be. Soon my eyes will close, soon I'll find repose, and in dreams you're always near to me. I'll see you in my dreams, hold you in my dreams. Someone took you out of my arms, still I feel the thrill of your charms. Lips that once were mine, tender eyes that shine, they will light my way tonight. I'll see you in my dreams. There you go.
That was really beautiful.
Well, thank you. Old song. I've always loved it, and you don't hear many people play it, but I've always liked it. And after she passed, so everyone out there don't know, a good friend of all of ours who kind of in a way helped Jay and Jack start their podcast, passed away of cancer last week. And so I just kind of wanted to dedicate something to her because she was a really sweet and beautiful person. So anyway, sorry to start the podcast on a sad note, but
it needed to be said, and
that was awesome, dude.
Great job. Awesome. Great job.
I think anybody that's been part of the Lost community has heard her voice, and they've been touched by her in some way. And that's just
she's the podcast mom. Like,
she's the queen.
She's the queen. She started all of this, man. At least from my perspective in this whole community, she started it.
And like you said, it's just the nicest person. It's
ever.
My pleasure ever to meet.
Yeah, and I don't know if
they might probably not listening to this, but heart goes out to Ryan and
family. It's you can't put words to describe
what people might be going through, what they've gone through. They've gone through so much in the last 10 years.
Fighting it for 10 years. That's just
and I think the song kind of summed it up perfectly, Nick. That was awesome.
Good job, Nick.
Thank you.
Smartest thing you've ever done on this show.
Well, for anyone out there who wants a proper version of that song, the one that I kind of copied is by a man named Joe Brown, and he does it on the ukulele as well, and it's a very good version of it.
So actually, after
I had scheduled this for a while ago to get my tattoo redone a little bit, touched up a little bit. When I found out I couldn't get the painting that my daughter was going to do, so I end up, booking a session to touch up the.
Oh, you couldn't do the painting?
No, it wasn't going to work because of the style of the painting and how tattoos work. Really,
it's hard to get watercolor.
Yeah, it's hard to get watercolor to work in a way that's going to not turn to shit in a couple of years. So,
yeah.
I did go and get my existing tattoo work done, which is the breast cancer pink ribbon, and I had that done last week. It was actually before Jen had passed, but right after I had heard from Ryan that Jen was going into hospice care at home around her family. So, I originally got it for my wife, but now I think it's more for everybody, who's gone through what my family's gone through, and unfortunately what Zawas have gone through for the last 10 years. But got some work done on it.
Oh, nice.
And
yeah, I think I saw you post an Instagram of it, and
yeah, so it's he put an outline on it,
Hmm.
which didn't have prior.
and there's a little bit more shadow to it, isn't it?
Some more shadow, and there's definitely some more enhanced whites and pinks and reds in there too to make it pop a little bit more. So I'm very pleased with it, and it came out pretty nice.
Looks nice.
Yeah, so
just in time for October, breast cancer awareness.
Yeah, is that October?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Because
I should know that.
I always know
because baseball and NFL crossover on it, don't they?
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think anybody, I feel like it's like with COVID, like at this point, someone knows someone who's battled breast cancer.
Yeah.
I know my aunt did, and successfully went into remission. But for her, it was the fact that she was going through cancer treatment and dealing with breast cancer, and then my mom died, her sister, so it was like her closest sibling, and it just and my mom's death was just out of the blue, like just no warning whatsoever. And so it's one of those things that we've talked about, my aunt and I, just about that. She's like, I was going through this, so my mind was on me, and then that happened, and it makes you feel like, oh, there's other people, or there's other, and she just wasn't. I mean, my mom wasn't in bad health at all. It wasn't like there was a warning sign, like, oh, she was ill, and then all of a sudden, it was out of the blue. So, so I just think about like that idea of like we all know someone, or will know someone too. That's the thing, is that if you haven't, like, I feel like it's only a matter of time until someone crosses your path that's close in your life. So,
Yeah.
And Sherry mentions in the chat that her aunt died, and grandmother as well. So,
which leads me to share the often said but also often underestimated power of early intervention. And very fortunate, and my wife is very fortunate that we, by accident, fell upon the fact that she had breast cancer. Long story short, we wouldn't have known if we hadn't been trying to have our second kid. And fast forward through a bunch of crazy, unexpected appointments and exams, we found it, right? And had we not, she would never have had, the proper, screenings until she was probably in her later 30s, or even today. My wife is now 40. And had we not stumbled across it, my wife would be dead today, and be a part of that statistic. And so as somebody who's my family and my wife have benefited from that early intervention, I can't stress enough how important it is to get yourself checked out. Don't look at the 40-year-old mark as the time that you should go and get checked out. Get checked out. And this goes for guys too. This isn't just breast cancer. This goes for all types of cancer. I lost my dad to cancer this past year, and that was a case in which it wasn't caught soon enough. So many things can be done if the timing is right.
I mean, it's funny because you say like check yourself, because I remember back in the early 2000s or late 90s when Tom Green was like still famous, and he got testicular cancer at like 28 or 27, and I remember like him giving an interview how like that really changed his life from being just the the silly stupid guy he was to where like he still was like, this is how you need to check, guys, like because this can affect you. He's like, because everyone when you're young you think you're going to live forever, right? You don't think nothing will ever affect you, and he's like, especially when you're in your 20s, you think nothing's gonna.
Oh, for sure. I mean, the things that I did in my younger 20s, it was fortunate that I was still like doing things like going to the dentist regularly. I mean, let alone like going to a doctor.
And now that you're in the dentist regularly.
Now that you're in your 50s,
you
go to the doctor more often.
You need to get that colonoscopy soon.
Yeah, and Randy makes a good point.
I just had one about a year ago.
Yeah, Randy makes a good point in the chat. Get dudes, get your butt checked too, man. Colonoscopies at 40 instead of 50s are recommended, and obviously getting a colonoscopy is probably one of the least desirable procedures that you want to go through.
But can I say something? I've done it twice, and it is really no big deal. It's the hard part is drinking that stuff that makes you poop nonstop. Because the last one I did when I had that thing where my blood was low or whatever, and they gave me, and I had to do double dosage of that stupid stuff to drink, and it's like salty. It's terrible. And they're like, when you got to guzzle it, I go, this whole jug.
Yeah,
it's like I don't drink this much water in a week, and you want me to drink this whole jug of stuff. And it's after I was done, I go, can I at least take a shower first before you go in there?
How much weight did you lose after all that?
I think I gained weight because
of the jug.
Yeah, because of the jug.
Because you're always so full of shit. So, anyways,
that was where after the procedure was over, I'm in the recovery little area. It was actually a big room, a big section, and they woke me up because I was snoring. They go, "You were snoring." I go,
"Well,
okay." It's the first sleep I've had in 24 hours because I'm in a hospital.
Yeah.
Get some rest.
And Sherry mentions in the chat too, men can also get breast cancer, which is true, very true, especially in the similar cases that my wife experienced. So my wife was BRCA. She has the BRCA1 gene, which is a genetic anomaly that is found most commonly in the Ashkenazi Jewish heritage, which my wife is. And there's a significant percentage of Ashkenazi Jewish women who have this genetic mutation, and men can have it as well.
0.002%.
Yeah, and then but the percentage of people who have that genetic mutation that then develop breast cancer and then even later ovarian cancer is like 97%.
Wow.
So, so my wife had all of her treatment, double mastectomy, chemotherapy, the whole nine. And she also, a year after Jackson was born, she had a hysterectomy as well, preventatively.
Right.
And which was fucking mind blowing. So we went in for her hysterectomy. I think her appointment was at like 9:30 was the surgery time. So we got to the hospital at 7, got there early.
Did you take pictures?
No. So she went in, had her procedure at 9:30, and we were discharged by 11.
Yeah, my wife had the same things.
Bananas.
Really, really quick. Except my wife, we were just talking about this the other day. I was sitting by the phone waiting for her to. I was in the waiting room. And I was answering the phone I was giving all the other families, okay, you can go see your loved one. But I'm just still sitting there. And the whole thing is because my wife, when she wakes up from anesthesia, she's just white as a ghost. They didn't want me to see her that way. I go, remember from the beginning when I said, it's okay. I've seen her this way. And I go, don't let her be alone. But it is what it is.
So when we were planning to have did she wear blue jeans to the hospital? Is Randy's question. When we were
Which
planning
one?
They just cut them right off. Yeah.
when we were planning to have Jackson's actually an IVF baby. So we did embryo freezing prior to Amanda's chemotherapy. So Jackson was technically conceived back like 6 years ago.
Does he have cold chills a lot?
Yeah, so we always say he's always been a really chill baby.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're like, yeah, he's just
So
still thawing out.
so he's almost 7, right? Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Technically, yeah, he's almost 7 years old.
Yeah.
But frozen in time. But prior to the selection of the embryos that we used, we did a DNA screening. I think I probably covered this before, but it's just really interesting because like we did the DNA screenings. They were able to take all the embryos and see which ones had my wife's genetic mutation, the BRCA1 gene, and then not use one from that selection of the embryos, which is pretty fucking cool.
It's
I
mean, this is like future science that like back when we were kids, just it was
Right.
just
We were talking about Gattaca because that's what.
Right.
I remember we was talking about this a couple years ago.
Yes.
When we started talking about Gattaca.
And Emma has a 50% chance that she has this genetic mutation. However, we're not going to be looking into this until she becomes an adult. Then we can make the necessary changes and precautions. So a lot can change in the medical field between now and 10 years. So
yeah.
By the way, I also always thought that being a mutant was much cooler. You know what I mean? Like, and then the reality is like, oh no, like we don't get cool superpowers with being a mutant.
We're all mutants. You know.
What does that mean? You're holding up your thumbs.
Opposable thumbs.
What do you think this is, man? Opposable thumb is a mutation.
Oh, now I got to look at this all day.
Great.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's millions of years ago, but still, you know.
Oh man, now it's bugging me.
Speaking of genetic mutations and my hand, I was going through. I found my baby book. You know, I was going through like a bunch of old boxes and just kind of sorting through stuff. I find my baby book, and I kid you not, there is a section in there. And this is where my mom wrote in like all of the things like at 1 month, at 4 months.
He's a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Well, I was also kind of curious about genealogy and just like learning who my great grandparents are. I ran across like some old photos of my great grandparents as well as
Can you hold them up so we can see them?
Oh, so this would be my great grandparents. So on my mother's side. So the Bearderstedt.
Is he wearing glasses?
Bearderstedt. No, but he's got a pocket watch chain.
He
so.
sure does.
He's definitely not wearing jeans.
I have to show you though my
he doesn't go sledding.
This is my great grandmother on my
these all look turn of the century.
Her hair, yeah, it would have been turn of the century. They got married in 1909. Her hair is like something out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
it's very Victorian.
I used to say Mickey Mouse.
So
2 years ago.
So I'm looking at stuff in my baby book, and I'm also kind of curious to know about when I had surgeries on my hand, because I've been told things and I don't know of all of the surgeries of everything that they do. I know some things, you know, and my earliest memory is from a surgery.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is terrifying, which is why I remember it. But this is the funniest thing though. At 1 month, the doctor put me on a diet.
Oh, that's because you were a chunky baby, right?
I was apparently a really fat baby.
Well, I think you showed us a picture of you after we recorded, and you were a little chunky monkey.
In my baby book it says put on diet, and then this is the funniest thing. It says my mom wrote this.
Too many
doctor says that babies that are overweight under a year old will become obese later in life.
Well, they were wrong about you, huh?
Yeah.
So then they and then at 4 months they took me off the diet. which I feel like had I not been put on a diet, perhaps I'd be an inch taller.
You'd be huge.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Like what they held me back.
Why don't you like six? You're 6'7".
Could have
Right?
gone to the Olympics
No,
or
I'm
something.
6'4", but thank you.
6'4".
Yeah.
you could have gold medaled in Olympic sledding.
Exactly.
Look,
Because
look and you have the little USA.
And he's wearing USA Ralph Lauren jeans.
Exactly.
Made in China.
Well, anyway, I thought it was kind of funny that I was put on a diet as a baby. It's an oddity.
Did they have like a little baby treadmill for you to crawl on?
I was 1 month. I could barely, do much of anything.
Stop
it
feeding
did
that fat fuck. Come on.
It does go into pretty like detail. At least she wrote it out, and then at some point she stopped writing them out. And I think it's just
what were they feeding you at 1 month?
I know, other than milk.
Breast milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, he likes the titties.
Superpower.
He needs to go to bed.
Wean him off the breast milk. Anyway,
it's my turn, goddamn kid.
they tried extending my hand by using a cast almost, but not a cast. Like it was kind of like they were trying to open it up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And from November.
This is a baby. This is a baby, right?
This is as a baby. I'm not even a full year yet. So I was born in October. They start in November. They stop in February. It says that the splint or the brace, as she wrote, was no longer doing anything, and so that I still couldn't open up my hands.
What do you think about if you were born today?
Well, for one, the next step. So after they stopped with the brace, I read this line, and trust me, I was just like, ugh. And it happened to me as a baby. They went in and they snipped the skin under my fingers, thinking that was holding me back.
Uh-huh.
So they were just experimenting.
They were just experimenting on my hand.
Oh man.
So they cut that, and then they put that in a brace to see if that would work. So eventually they put pins in my fingers. So and they
as a baby,
and my
fucking hell.
My dad remembers when they took him out because he was holding me and he could feel
the tension, or
he could feel the vibration of the pin against my bone.
Gotcha. I think I would be sobbing the whole time if I was
not to mention he was probably struggling to hold you.
Well, no, I think because like you don't want your child ever being in pain
because you were heavy.
I couldn't.
Dude, I had to hold my kid to give blood once. Like they had to draw blood for blood tests or whatever, and that was probably like in the top 5 worst experiences of my life. I can't fucking imagine what your dad must have felt.
So I had to hold the kids down for shots and stuff like that, and I just like.
Oh yeah, the shots, but then blood draw is worse because it's
because they have no idea. Like they don't have no. I mean, obviously their babies are just goo goo gaga. They're not even talking. They can't even express themselves. Yeah. And to do that, fuck, it was the worst. I had to do it with my daughter and with my son for, they're testing for various blood issues or whatever. Yeah. And that was awful.
Your wife went through,
right?
So,
yeah, it's no fun.
My earliest memory, and I'll move on from these surgeries, is from a nurse holding me and trying to calm me down because I'm in a crying fit, essentially, and they get me over to the table, and they actually strap my arms down. And they put the gas mask over my mouth, and I remember hyperventilating into the ether, and I remember the taste of that, and it's not great, but what early memories are great? I mean, it has to be something that's like
something traumatic,
like something that kind of stands out that you remember, because
mine is very similar. I had to have eye surgery when I was 5 and 6, and down in Memphis, And I remember two things very distinctly. One, like what you're saying, I remember going into the operating room, and it was, it's a children's hospital. And I remember them having this wall of toys and said, you can pick a toy, and as soon as you're out of surgery, we'll give it to you, And I remember picking out the toy, and I remember them asking me, like, what flavor gas did I want, and like, they gave me strawberry, and I remember them putting it over me, and then
You're like Corona.
Yeah, Corona.
Did it taste like strawberry?
It tasted like strawberries, yeah. And I remember counting back. It was like, count back from 15 or something like that. I remember just being out after like 3, And I remember that, and I remember what you're talking about as a child. I remember after the surgery, because I think I've actually told this once a long time ago. I remember going out into the hallway, and I've got like, half my head is covered. And so I'm just looking at my left eye, and I remember like drawing on like probably a chalkboard. And the two kids that were drawing on it with me were completely bald. And I remember that. But at the time, you're not thinking about that. You're just thinking it's a kid to play with.
Right.
And it wasn't until later in life that I realized, that those kids had cancer. And I don't know if they lived or died or what. You just think it's just someone you're playing with and you're having fun.
Yeah.
And so it's things like that I remember.
I remember, God, that's awful. I remember sledding behind my friend's house. I know that's probably that was not intentional. It was legitimate. Sledding behind my friend's house, and it was one of those one piece molded plastic sleds that had like arm bar handlebars in the front, but the plastic didn't actually move. It was just little handles that you could like hold on to. I did not make that mental connection while choosing the sled to go down the hill with, and I thought, I could like maneuver with this thing, right? I must have been like 5 or 6. No, probably older than that. I wouldn't be going sledding by myself if I was 5 or 6. Probably like 7 or 8 years old. And behind his house and going down this hill. And then like looking back at that hill when I was older, I go, who the fuck let us sled down this hill? like it was like nothing but trees with like this one like narrow ass path that if you could maneuver like a sled master, you could probably get through this without injury. And
they were training you early.
Yeah. And I was not that kid, right? So I went sledding down this cool sled that looked like it had a steerability, but it didn't. And I went fucking headfirst into a tree.
Ooh.
And my friend's father, who shit, I mean, man, this is kind of a little bit of a morbid episode thus far. So my friend's father, who actually passed away when we were kids from Lou Gehrig's disease. He was there. He was healthy at the time, and he was there, and he picked me up. And I'll never forget the look on his face when he picked me up. And it was like, oh, fuck. Like, he was like, he went white seeing me.
Right.
Like, and like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm knocked, I have definitely had a concussion, right, as a kid. And I had a red jacket, except my jacket wasn't red, but it was red at the time, right? Type of thing. It was just covered in blood, and he carried me home. Like I'll never ever forget this. And it was because it was before my parents renovated the kitchen, so it's kind of like an old school '80s style kitchen. And I remember being placed in the sink because I was bleeding everywhere, and they're trying to stop my head from bleeding. I remember looking at my mom being like, I don't want to go to the hospital. I'm not going to the hospital right now. I'm not going to the hospital. Right? I don't want to go to the hospital. And she's like, no, you're not going to go to the hospital. They're like, get him the fuck to the hospital. Like, right? Yeah. Like, and I did. And I actually, I don't know if you can see it right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it explains a lot about you.
Fuck off.
Is it the wrinkle here, or is it goes up?
So it started right here. And you can kind of see a faint line, but it goes all the way up here, which is why.
Oh yeah. When you ran your finger across it,
which is why my hairline is definitely receding more on this side because of scar tissue.
Dude, you're fucking Harry Potter.
I know, right?
That's like a Harry Potter thing, man.
I do. Yeah, I have a Harry Potter-ish scar on my head from not steering clear of a fucking oak tree.
Jack's over here like, whatever, you're stupid.
Chris has a Horcrux in his head.
Oh shit,
Yeah.
Will's aunt passed from ALS on
Spoilers.
Saturday.
Sorry,
I'm
Will.
so sorry, Will. Okay, fuck. Let's right the ship here.
Well, okay, then let's take a commercial break.
Good call. And we're back.
So, what else you want to talk about here?
I've just been
Found some old
packing.
newspapers. Found one dating back to 1859.
That's cool.
Yeah, the Paulding Eagle out of Paulding, Ohio.
I was reading the chat. What did you say from 1859?
I found a newspaper just in my heirlooms that I found that my mom left. Or just little things, newspaper clippings and whatever. So it must have been passed down through the
Were
family.
you about 3 in 1859?
Yeah, September 15th.
That was before the war.
Well,
The war.
it's interesting because it talks about Republicans and Democrats, and if you open it up, and it's about ready to fall apart.
Oh, no doubt.
So
the newspaper,
yeah. So
I thought you were talking about the country for a second. But
I really, the country and the newspaper,
yeah,
both
is true.
today and back in 1859, were both about to fall apart. So I want to do something to get it preserved or to even hand it over to a historical society, because
Just get it pressed in like a airtight.
Yeah,
frame.
I mean, I guess I can keep it. It's just
have you tried matches? No?
I don't even need to try matches. I'd leave that thing out in the sun and the rain and it'd be melted. So
I wonder what the material of that paper is.
18 what?
Oh, it's 1850s. It's just going to be cheap paper.
Yeah, it's not going to be dolphin.
Well, okay, so most newspaper is made from a cheaper wood, and that's the wood pulp has acid in it, and that's why it deteriorates and browns over time.
Another paper lecture.
Well, they treat some wood pulp is treated and then made white and it's put bleaching agents are put in it, whitening agents are put into it, and buffing. They try to buffer it so that it's not so acidic. So, but not all paper is made from trees. So some papers.
We know.
I talked about this, didn't I?
They call him Flipper.
No, we have talked about this.
We have talked about it. That's why I just lost Chris.
Yeah. Like that,
So did we give Chris a timeout?
Also found it's looking really.
Oh, his daughter.
Oh, his daughter. Oh, I just saw there's okay. Yeah,
it was like a scene from the Blair Witch Project.
Hi.
I thought it was Matt's house there for a second.
We had a guest on the podcast for a second. Yeah.
Yeah, it was my wife.
Oh, okay.
Are you guys recording?
Yes,
I'm like,
no.
No.
I'm making an audio book.
are you on video? Yeah.
I know years ago when you were talking about old stuff. I was working in mailbox, etc. I was manager there, and this old guy brought in a phone book from Los Angeles. Well, the phone book was just one piece of paper.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was this small thing. And
it was a phone pamphlet.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like 1900 whatever it was. And he wanted me to put it laminated. I said, well, I don't have anything this small. He goes, well, cut it. I go, I really don't want to cut it. I go, I really don't want to cut it. He goes, no, cut it. Because I want it to be laminated. So I cut it. And he goes, what the hell are you doing? He starts screaming at me and storms out. I go, you fucking moron. He just like, I go, and everyone, I go, you did hear him say cut it, right? And he goes, yeah. He goes, cut it here, cut it here, cut it here, cut it here. And he just like, every time someone brings up something old like that, it always goes back to that phone book with this guy just screaming at me. And he's just yelling at me the whole time. I'm like going, you are a fucking idiot. You're a fucking moron. You're And he was right. But I was like, he did tell me to cut it. But I was like going, anyway.
Did he tell you to cut it out?
No.
Ooh.
Yeah, he wasn't that funny. No, but but I remember holding.
Tried to make one Full House.
Insert random Dave Coulier reference.
I like it.
I want to say it's right there on USC campus. It has to be the Natural Science. There's the Science Center and the Natural Science Center, but I want to say it's in one of those two museums. There's a little section of the history of Los Angeles, and it shows that the population of basically from the city's founding all the way to the present. But you look at it's like 5,000 people, 7,500 people. It's like goes like every decade, and then you get to the 40s, it's just like boom, it just shoots through the roof.
Well,
you know,
because there was no reason to live there until the 40s.
yeah, and
You
it's
know,
just,
that same thing with San Diego, which is like there was nobody there because you see old pictures of the beaches and stuff like that, and you see that like La Jolla Shores, La Jolla, which is like it's like Beverly Hills of San Diego, and it's like going, oh my God, when did my relatives buy any of that property? Why?
well,
Because they were drunks, and you know.
you know, it's like There Will Be Blood. You know, the one guy owned it all.
Exactly.
There's my blood.
Of course, there was no oil
I'll
there. in
drink
La Jolla.
your milkshake.
I got a milkshake. You got a milkshake.
I drink your
It's
milkshake.
a shame he retired.
Well, I think he just kind of felt I mean, every movie he's in, he basically gets nominated for Best Actor. It's like, where do you go from there? And he didn't need the money or anything. So.
I'm the best. So
I
don't need to keep proving it.
Speaking of actors, I watched it. Is it on Amazon? I think it's on Amazon. The Val, VAL, about Val Kilmer.
Oh, Val Kilmer. I've been wanting to watch that.
That's pretty good. I didn't realize he was a method actor because, like, he was talking about.
Have you not seen Top Gun?
Yeah, man. He actually locked himself in the freezer every morning before shooting Top Gun.
Well, like he talks a little bit about Top Gun, about how he really didn't want to be in Top Gun because he's like, I got you now, Chris.
We all got it pretty quick there, Nick. That's okay.
I was on my one.
There you go.
I'm sorry. That was probably the worst joke I've ever fucking told.
It was better than my cut it out joke. So, you know.
That was a joke?
So yeah, he talks about he didn't actually want to be in Top Gun, but at that time he was still under contract. So with the studio, so he had to be in it. And of course, on the script, it said it had nothing really about him other than his lines. So he had to come up with this whole backstory about how he had an abusive father who always, said he wasn't going to amount to anything. So it made him always want to be the best. And so that's why he approached Iceman. He said that's why I approached Iceman as this arrogant, like I'm the best kind of person.
But it didn't Maverick had the daddy issue.
I know, but that's just what he says.
Because every movie Tom Cruise does, he has daddy issues, and you never hear him talk about his dad.
Right.
Just saying, just don't throw it out there. And he used to be my good friend, but now I'm banned.
Right. It's still banned. Huh?
I sent a letter to Jack, the CEO of Twitter.
Oh yeah, he does.
And saying, okay, I said, okay, I did the whole if Tegan can have account, and now I put Marjorie, what's her name, that congresswoman or whatever she is.
Shit.
Oh yeah,
who's been saying stuff about. I go, look, she's tweeting stuff about the vaccine, and she got suspended for 7 days. I go, she's literally tweeting things that could kill people. Are you serious that I get banned for life?
To kill somebody.
I didn't threaten to kill anybody.
Time out. Hold on.
Did I miss something?
Oh, you weren't here last week.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
Jack got banned from Twitter. Yeah, he got banned.
You know what? We actually tried to put it in the show title.
Is that funny?
Spanos reported you for fucking
all the years of Spanos.
Oh, yeah.
What? So you're permanently banned from Twitter?
On that account.
Yeah. Which one?
My regular one, my Crackpot Jack.
Crackpot Jack.
Really?
The one I've had for 11 years. And this is what I said. I don't know if you remember Dave Stewart, pitcher for the Oakland A's, Dodgers, all these. He was a pitching coach for the Padres back in the 90s when they went to the World Series and stuff. He never smiled. Dude, he just would sit there like this, go. And then we'd go out to the pitch. He'd go out to the mound to talk to the pitchers. People say, what do you think he's saying? Throw strikes or I'll kill you. That's what I tweeted. And that got me banned for life. I said,
wow.
Really? I go, Christy Teigen can literally tell someone to go kill themselves and bully other people. She still has an account. This woman, and I was naming all these different people that have done things that are just terrible things. I go, this congresswoman is basically saying the vaccines are killing people, and yet she still has an account. She got suspended for 7 days. So anyway.
By the way,
so does that mean all of your Twitter history is now deleted?
I don't. I can get record, I guess, or
Let's
something like
find
that.
out.
Well, no, you can't get on there. I'm banned.
You can't even look at him, I don't think.
You can't. I'm banned.
Chris, I realized that you didn't listen to last week, but we named the
Right.
episode "Jack Off Twitter."
Yeah.
I don't know how much
Man.
clearer we can.
Now
like,
I still
catch up to speed here.
have Crazy Hank TV.
Yeah, he's been
But-
doing crazy.
But crackpot, dude, that's
And I even said it.
crazy.
I go.
I mean, I'm missing out. NFL season's coming up. I'm gonna be missing out on
I'm-
nice catch or
Play by play.
can you believe that or not there?
Yeah, so I'm still
Wide left.
working on it. I'm still working on it.
So
Tackle.
I'm sorry to rehash shit that you guys already talked about. I apologize, but I'm fucking curious about this. So did you quote this person in your tweet, or did you just tweet out
No,
"Throw strikes, I'm gonna kill you"?
what was happening is the Padre the Padre fans are pissed at the current pitching coach, Larry
Yeah.
Rothschild. They said, "Who should we hire as pitching coach?" They want the old Balsley, the guy that was there before. I said, "What about Dave Stewart? Throw strikes or I'll kill you."
So you said, "What about Dave Stewart, comma, quotation, throw strikes or I'll kill you"?
No.
I
You just-
didn't quote it. I said,
you
"What about
you
Dave
didn't put
Stewart?"
quotes around it.
No, I didn't put quotes around it.
Oh, if you
throw
would've put
strikes or
quotes
I'll
around
kill you.
it.
You probably wouldn't be suspended if you quoted it.
That's right.
Yeah.
But it's something that I used to say all the time, and other fans.
But
used to say.
nobody knows that.
But that's why I put it in the appeal. I said it's just a comment that we used to make when he was, it's just like I said. You're taking. I go. I could see. Give me 24 hours or a warning. I go, but really, Christy Teigen still has an account.
I agree with you that there are
And I-
other
and-
people
and
out
that- and
there
that's
that
what-
are
and that's what-
actually killing people.
Yeah,
I mean, when people are basically telling people, "Hey,
So were you reported by somebody, or was it filtered?
It just must have been the algorithm.
So I can picture the algorithm is that if anybody quotes "I will kill you," it probably gets flagged.
right?"
Yeah,
Just like if you
or
put-
I'll kill you.
or if you
I
put
mean,
out,
kiss.
this,
And
you can't do that, Jack.
well, no, you can, and you can still keep your account. Go kill yourself. You can
Go
keep
kill
your account.
yourself. Seems like that should be up with "I will kill you" because there
But
are
if you're
people
Christy
that have been
Teigen,
there
you
are
can
people
do
that have
that.
cyberbullied to death, and
I
that's
know.
a proven fact.
And
So
I said I put in the thing. I said I go 11 plus years of being on Twitter, never been reported, never done anything sexist, violent, racist. I've never called people names and attacked people except maybe Dean Spanos, but I've never done anything. This is not me telling someone that I'm going to kill them.
So I have no idea what the level of follow-up Twitter has with these types of situations, but I have to imagine that if someone is reviewing these appeals, which I'm assuming you're appealing in some way, can you appeal?
Yeah, they keep sending me something back saying we've reviewed it and your ban remains. I go. Can I speak to a live person? Is there someone I could speak to?
and the person who's reviewing that has like no connection to sports whatsoever.
I put it.
Yeah, totally.
I put it in the sport how it was in the 90s and how the sports and this. I go, any Padre fan that followed the Padres in the 90s.
What if they actually forgave you for that tweet, but then they looked at your history and saw all the fuck you Spanos, fuck you Spanos, fuck you Spanos.
I never.
Yeah,
I hope you die,
hold on.
Spanos.
I never said I hope you die, Spanos.
You got some collateral against your name.
I've never spelled out fuck. I've never
F-U,
spelled it
Spanos.
F-U Spanos. That could mean anything.
Just saying, they might think
Florida
this
University
guy's got
Spanos.
anger issues,
But no, it's never done anything. I'm sorry.
Well, if there's anything to be said, here's the thing.
I'm still going to keep going.
If this algorithm picks Jack out of the crowd for that action, which I understand, like blind take on this, I understand why it happened. I don't necessarily think it's just because I don't think it was intended in the way that they're banning you for. I know it doesn't intend. It's not the same way, but like to think about all the real shitty people out there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's good to know that there's a low threshold for this type of bullshit.
But I even said, I could understand that I used the word kill, and okay, I won't. I understand now. I can't do that, even though it was in a different way of what you're thinking it was. I go, but still, how about, hey, you can't use that here? I mean, it's not like I have a long list of people reporting me over 11 years and everything. I've never been warned. Never. It's just
finally worked.
I do like to think that somehow Dean Spanos is behind it.
Fuck Dean Spanos. Fuck him.
Yeah, definitely Dean.
Or the person that's looking at this, they've looked back at and they're like, he's a fucking Padres fan. Fuck.
I'm just picturing an old guy. I'm picturing an old guy at a desk going, I don't care if I go bankrupt. I could lose all my staves. I could lose everything I got. But Jack, fuck that guy.
Someone from Twitter is like, he's used exactly 748 megabytes of space recording play-by-play for football. Let's get this fucker out of here.
People like those tweets. I'm sorry.
So what I started to say about Val, there's definitely a few things I thought were really neat about it.
I forgot we were talking about
Val
that.
Kilmer.
Yeah, here. Well, I'll go back to it.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's sad because you see, because he had throat cancer and he's got the what they call tracheotomy. Yeah, the hole.
He's got tracheotomy.
Tracheotomy. Yeah.
Wow.
Holy shit!
And
That's
so
why he wears that scarf
all the time. But of course, all the treatment that he had to have, like you can tell, his jaw's kind of inflamed and like he doesn't look quite like he normally does. But I mean, you can tell he's in good spirits, and like he's still himself. He can't talk, so it's kind of sad in a way. But then there's like a lot of neat things he talked about how, like, when Tombstone came out, like I was 12 when that movie came out, so I always think of Val Kilmer as like an established actor. He's been around forever, and Willow, growing up with Willow, and all these things like that. He was only like 32 years old when he did Tombstone, and I'm like, damn, like, and. But then, like, what was interesting is the final scene, when he dies in the hospital bed, he actually got the prop department to make the whole bed of ice, but you don't see. But that's what he did because he said, I needed to feel like I was in pain in order to any kind of an emotional response to the struggle between my dying and then knowing I'm only going to see my best friend this last time, and like things like that he would do to get into character.
How did he do the whole cancer thing that he was in the whole movie? He's dying in Tombstone. He's dying the whole time. I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, but he doesn't get into that kind of detail. But like, he just tells you like little neat things about each film. Not each, but it's a lot of them. But I do recommend it. It's neat. It's a good little documentary if you like Val Kilmer, and you kind of felt sorry for him, like especially like with his marriage, because basically the Doors kind of was the beginning of like, because he was so method. He goes, I worked on that picture for so long. All I was like Jim Morrison for a year, just annoying the shit out of my wife, and like,
but incredible.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah,
and a beautiful lover too. I'm sure she enjoyed it.
Yeah, yeah.
See what John UPS guy says. Christina Applegate, and now she has MS today.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He's gone through some shit too.
She had breast cancer too.
She did.
Yeah.
Oh,
damn.
Yeah. And Marky Post had passed away too.
Yeah, that's right. That's 70.
Yeah, that was another one that kind of.
Before we get too depressed here, why is Randy been banned? He's been banned for a week from Twitter.
Because he wrote in with another joke. Yeah. I don't know if you knew this.
Oh, okay.
So many dad jokes in a week will get you banned. That's true.
I'll go ahead and read Randy's.
Well, see, that's why life isn't fair, because Christina Applegate. I mean, she doesn't deserve to have it. I mean, no one deserves to have MS, but
no.
Like I thought after
this kind of relates it to it's called Stay Chill. Who's
this from?
This is from Randy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So our super fan. It says, stay chill. What kind of people don't get angry? Nomads. Nomads. All right. We got a second email this week.
You didn't give us time to come up with the answer.
Well, I was. It was just dead air, and that's kind of boring.
I was trying to think. Well, you.
Okay. Next time, Randy, I'll say it at the top of the hour, and then I'll reveal it at the end of the show.
Oh, you don't have to go on that long because it won't think that.
No, well, yeah, maybe I won't remember it, but okay, we got another email this week though.
Two?
I'm skimming over, and I don't think you should read it.
Not from Raphael.
Oh, okay.
Raphael.
I'm talking about John.
Fuck that guy.
John here.
Who's
John
Raphael?
here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe
It's kind of
maybe
offensive, really.
Jack really should just
Wait,
read
who's
this,
Raphael?
I don't. Oh, Raphael was just blowing up our Owen
That was the Owen
Harper's email.
Harper's.
It was
Yeah.
kind of we've been spammed like crazy because somebody.
Oh, so it's not a real person.
Yeah,
No,
no,
not a
it's
real
just-
person.
Oh, okay. I was like going, who the hell's Raphael?
How did a spammer get the force is well done at gmail.com into their like catalog of email addresses?
Yeah, it's
I didn't know you guys had one.
yeah.
Yeah.
We say it every time we do a show.
Jack doesn't
I-
listen. He's only
I
been on the
don't-
show once.
I
Yeah,
don't listen.
and he didn't even listen to the end.
Jack,
of
did
that.
you hear the name of it though? The force is well done at gmail.com.
I like that. It's great.
Right?
Did
Good
you
name,
come up
isn't
with
it?
that? You come up with that?
I did.
I actually,
you're good
I
at names,
actually
just not good at
being
showing
brave.
up, right? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
It's true.
Guilty.
Maybe we'll just let Jack read it. We'll figure out if Jack can get to the email or not. So we won't read that one right now.
Unlikely.
I'll probably be
Since
banned.
since Chris also doesn't know our email, I'll go ahead and read it for him. This email comes from Little Johnny.
I know the email. I just don't go on it.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, so you haven't read this email. This is new to you. So only Nick and I know its true meaning. Excellent. 1 hour and 38 minutes of bliss. Hi, Ramblecasters. John's listening live, so we'll see how much I got right and wrong.
Oh, it's from John, the UPS guy.
Yeah, Little Johnny, UPS driver.
So this is gonna suck.
After almost
Nah.
54 years on this earth. Wow, 54. So you're like 10 years older than me. I decided to sit down Saturday night and watch The Princess Bride. At
Oh.
running time of 1 hour and 38 minutes, 3 of the 4 Ramblecasters love this movie. It must be fantastic, right? Well, I was deeply satisfied. I kept... No, it's not. It's
Oh.
completely not.
He
But
didn't
that's-
like it.
No, he did not like it.
Oh!
I liked
Oh,
it's funny how the tables have turned.
Chris
Like, all,
was
of
a
a
little
sudden,
you were a little premature there, but that's happening.
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
you know.
Jack's a little bit more satisfied now. I lost my place here.
I was
Directed it.
considering.
Made it
I was
clear.
considering the
I was
sword.
deeply disappointed.
Yeah, there we go. I kept waiting for it to get better, but it never did. At the end, I was left saying, "That's what they said was so great." The sword fight was the only time I actually laughed out loud. You have no soul, sir. The worst part of the whole night was thinking to myself, damn, Jack is right. Jack, I'll save you some time. Don't bother watching the rest of the movie. I think my time will be better spent watching a future Ramblecast. Well, thank you for joining us, Johnny.
Wow.
Take care, guys, and go fuck yourselves. Giants.
I think-
Honestly, I mean, teach their own.
He
Teach
said
their
go
own.
fuck yourself?
John,
He
the
said go
UPS.
fuck- he said go
No,
fuck
he did.
yourself?
He said go Giants. I just thought it would be funny.
He might
to
as well
say
say go fuck yourself. Fuck your Giants.
Yeah.
I tease
I
John
told-
because I don't watch baseball and it doesn't matter to me.
I'm just gonna chalk it up to he waited too late in life to
To-
really appreciate the childhood wonder and adventure.
But
I
that's
feel
what I said. I said maybe it's just one of those movies that you had to watch back in the day.
Oh no, because the thing is though, as you progressively watch this movie growing up, you know, you see it first when you're a kid, and you get like 15% of the comedy in the movie, and as you get older and older, and more you watch it.
I was going to say there wasn't 15% of comedy in the movie.
Oh God! So, honest, this is striking me as crazy, right? Because in my 41 years of life, I have literally never once heard anybody, let alone 2 people, shit on Princess Bride.
I didn't shit on it. I just said I didn't
don't
think
think
it
I've
got finished.
ever heard anybody speak ill on this about this movie, ever. I'm not even exaggerating. I don't think that anyone has ever said that.
What's it getting? What does it get on Rotten Tomatoes?
It's getting a 98%.
I bet it's pretty high.
I'm just joking. I don't know. I'm pretty high myself.
But I could see it as it's like one of Chris's favorite movies is The Goonies, and I could totally understand someone in their 50s or even 40s who've never watched the Goonies ever, and they wait to as an adult to watch the Goonies, they might go, I don't get it.
And for the record, Princess Bride has a Rotten Tomato score of 97.
Whoo! I was close with my guess. Damn.
97.
Okay.
So you guys are the 3%ers, huh?
Like I said, I didn't bag it. I just said I didn't think it was that.
He didn't
Of course,
he doesn't even know how the movie ends.
I think
but
for me
too. Well, for me too. Remember, I was distracted because I had 2 kids running around.
See, I think you like through life, and this is how I feel about the Princess Bride. And maybe it's right. Maybe we watched it when we were in our youth, and it'll forever be with us. But
yeah.
I think that you're either the kid, you're either the part of the love story,
Wesley, yeah, or yeah.
you're the grandpa.
Your grandpa, yeah.
Those are the 3 characters.
What about the parts where you're sleeping?
Or I guess you could be the guy for revenge, but then it's not your movie. You know, the movie is the love story between Wesley and Princess Buttercup, and the love that is shared between a grandfather to a grandson. And personally, I love how that ends.
Again,
and the cast is incredible.
And another thing too is, well, you have great casts where the movies suck.
It's true.
Randy, you're correct. That is inconceivable. So
I don't think you know what that word means.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that
it's still wrong.
I'm just saying that, especially when someone tells you it's such a great movie, then you sit down to watch it. And I did laugh once in the first 25 minutes, or the only 25 minutes I saw of the movie. Something when it might have been the sword fight.
That blows my mind.
Because that's like, I'm trying to think of a nice way to say this, but The Princess Bride is full of the shitty humor that you fucking love, Jack.
I know. I get it. I get it. I love that.
It's almost as if you helped write the movie.
I could see Jack not getting past the bald guy, like him just being like, "What?" Like you being mad at that.
Well, because the bald guy's always a dick or an asshole, right?
Yeah,
that's just normal. That's just
yeah.
I get it, and that guy is usually always a dick or an asshole.
Now, it's kind of like I know I've told Matt this story. Like 2014, my friend was in grad school.
Space Odyssey.
No, not 2000. Yeah. No, my friend who's from Kenya that I was in grad school with couldn't go to sleep, and he's like, "Hey Nick, can I come over and watch a movie?" I said, "Sure." And so I played him A New Hope because he'd never seen any Star Wars. And he looked at me like I had lost my mind, because think about it, you're in your late 20s, early 30s, and you're especially when you have no concept of what Star Wars is, and all you see basically for the first 30 minutes of that film is a golden statue and this round dome thing just beeping and talking back and forth to each other. It's like, what the hell am I watching? And I was like, oh, okay, you don't like it. That's weird.
But another problem with that, because he didn't grow up. He grew up on special effect movies, so it's not a big deal.
I don't think that's true, but I don't think he grew up really watching a lot of movies. Period.
That's true too.
What is this moving picture?
Yeah.
What is the light?
And not everybody likes sci-fi, even though I don't consider Star Wars to be sci-fi.
He grew up training for marathons, right?
He is that build. Yeah.
I do think that the opening to A New Hope, which going back, I like it because of but it's of the time that it's slower. It's more, it has a lot more breath to it. I mean,
more
Lucas
story.
is coming out of the Francis Ford Coppola, Steven Spielberg, they were all.
I mean, I have a similar thing with people, because I told this one guy I used to work with. I said, "Hey, you're gonna watch Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's the funniest fucking movie you're ever gonna see."
That's something else. What we need to talk about.
We do need to talk about
Chris
this.
Chris is not privy to that either.
Okay, so let us ask Chris. Do you have
notice how that only got one vote, and it was Jack's vote.
So I don't care. I'm still gonna laugh at it, thinking that's what it is.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and ask Chris, because he is just like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about?" No one's in the show.
Oh, you want me to? Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, so last week I was reading the chat. Anyway, all right. So last week, I don't know how it came up, but we were talking about things like we always do, And the scene
I think I brought it up.
from Planes, Trains, Automobiles of the two pillows came up in discussion. And then Jack throws out this curveball of what do you think the two pillows was? And Matt and I both go, it was the butt cheeks. And Jack is in the firm camp that his hand was touching Steve Martin's balls.
It was around his balls, yeah.
Around his balls.
You remember the line, right?
Those aren't two pillows.
Yeah, he goes, where are your other hand between
What
two
do you
pillows?
think the two pillows are?
What do you think the two
Chris?
pillows are? There's a third vote as well as thigh gap. But Matt and I believe it's butt cheeks.
Butt cheeks.
100% butt cheeks.
Because I would not have reacted that way if he's
Do you
holding
think
my
he
butt
has
cheeks.
his hands like smoothly between the butt cheeks and then touching and cupping them? What is going on? How is he getting to the balls?
Because he goes right through.
It's all the way through. It's all the way through.
Yeah.
Mike voted butt too. So
Hey,
the poll results are in: 39 votes butt cheeks, 8 thighs, and 1 vote for balls,
Which is Jack.
By the way, I accidentally also voted for butt cheeks. but
It's funnier if it's funnier if it's balls. That's the problem with the Princess Bride. They didn't take all my.
Didn't take any ball jokes. There's none of the ball jokes in Princess Bride.
They forgot the ball hair.
But anyway, so this guy he watches it and he goes, "That movie was terrible." I go, "What are you fucking talking?" I go, "I didn't laugh once." I go, "On Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, you didn't laugh one time."
How do you not laugh one time?
That's
goes-
not possible.
He goes, I said, "What's a funnier movie?" He goes, "Clifford the dog." I go,
Fuck off.
go,
Stop associating with this person.
I haven't talked to him in a while, but he's the one that Michael remember. He was the one that was upset that Pan Am got canceled.
Oh. I was upset at Pan Am
Fuck
got
this guy.
canceled, but I like Pan Am.
He was the one that had
That's
never
literally
seen.
that's literally like 3 of the stupidest fucking sentences I've ever heard constructed.
He's the one that when he had never, I didn't know we were going to see Star Wars, the 7th episode, and so we're driving to the theater. All of us coming down, and he goes, so what's this about? I go, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. He goes, no, what's this all about? I go, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't even watched the previews. This is. He goes, no, this whole Star Wars thing, I haven't seen any of them. I go, so you're going to watch the 7th one, not having seen any of them.
Oh. They're in for a lifetime disappointment there.
I just want to point out Will's comment.
It's not Russ. Russ loves Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
I want to point out Will's comment from Facebook. He says, "How are you going to get your hand up someone's butt cheeks while both are asleep? It would be too tight. But Steve Martin was skinny. His thighs wouldn't be as difficult. Also, you can actually get between thighs. His hands would have nearly just been
It'd
butt
be
cheeks.
much easier to grab his balls, though.
How long did you guys dedicate to talking about this?
as long as
It
you
was
want.
a good while, yeah.
I broke out the charts, like the diagrams.
People were having a good time.
We had a magic bullet theory
Yeah.
drawing of the hand.
I'll work on it right now.
I even sent Steve Martin a tweet message on.
You see his hand. You see his hand go
that's
under.
part of how you got
Back.
suspended.
No.
You're talking about
This is
sticking things between Steve Martin's butt cheeks.
No, this is on the other Twitter account. I said, Mr. Steve Martin. I go, can you explain to me in the movie what were the two pillows? What body parts were the two pillows? And he didn't. He said, "Fuck you, I'm not answering you."
You know what? I bet if he was at a convention where you paid for his autograph, he would answer that question.
Yes. Randy says half the show was Twitter ban and the other half was Steve Martin's balls.
That's basically what the
2 hours.
episodes were.
Okay, so by Will's account, I believe this is what we were talking about here.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
We're talking about
What the
hands.
fuck?
Now, if we take that logic and if we magically see through, technically there could be some ball action in there. So there is a
He-
actual
he-
fourth.
I think that's what
It
freaked
could
him
be
out.
all
because he was-
four. Could
he
be
It
was
all
could be all
touch-
four.
three.
He was
Yeah,
touching
like-
the ball.
Or all three, yes.
It could be.
That's-
it could
The fourth
That's why-
option is
glide
all.
That's
up,
why
you know?
he reacted the way he did. He's not
Yeah.
going to react if he's holding his butt. He's going to be like, dude, that's my ass. Get your hand off my
But
ass.
if you're a writer, okay, all right, hang on. I'll engage in this conversation.
Hold on.
So if you're a writer and you,
technically, I've written a script. I am a writer.
so if you're a writer and you're writing the script and you're going for the joke or the gag that the man who's spooning grabs the other dude's balls, you're not going to write that story as growing through the thighs like a fucking pancake and then expanding and going and cupping the balls. You would just simply make it the joke a reach around, pretending that it was like his wife, right?
There you go.
Like
yeah.
no one would write that joke as let's make our way through the dude's legs and up
Sure.
and grab the balls. It
Okay.
would definitely be written as a reach around, an
Okay.
unintentional reach around at that. But that's how it would be written. It would never be written that way. So I think that
Circumvented.
Will's idea, although graphically represented very well, Matt, is invalid.
Jack did write Pleasure Ranch.
I did.
Okay, this, and I drew this in red just to clarify. This is what I think is happening.
No,
No.
Yeah, the hands
no,
are
'cause
on the hand.
he only
Hand is
only
clearly
had
between the two.
It's only one hand.
one hand, yeah.
I like that idea of two hands.
Because he says,
But
"Where's
it's
your
not-
other hand?" And he
Hand.
says,
Oh,
between
yeah,
two
where's-
Two
pillows.
pillows. He goes, those aren't two pillows, and he freaks out. He's been kissing his ear and all this other stuff. You think he's really gonna get that upset if his hand is touching his butt?
It's not touching
No.
his butt. His hand is wedged between the crack.
Yeah.
No, there's no way he got between. Because he would. Oh, if someone wedges a hand between your
Steve
crack,
Martin
you're
is
gonna-
a thin
you're,
guy.
You're gonna feel that.
Yeah.
It could have.
Well,
yeah.
I think this
I,
is a
I
good.
still I still say that. Okay, he might have been touching the butt, but he was also touching the balls. I win.
I think
Matt
this is
Treese in the chat brings
Yeah.
up a great point. He goes, "We started off with a memoriam, and now we're on to butt cheeks versus balls."
You know what we had
That's
to
pretty
finish
much
it.
what you get at the Ramblecast.
true.
It's a wide gambit that we have to talk about things. And to bring it back though to cancer, whether it's somebody else reaching around or it's yourself, you know, as a man checking your balls for
He was checking his prostate. That's what it was.
right. Well, you can't
Yeah.
don't check your own
Moon
prostate.
River.
I'm saying,
Well,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying is that the way that it was script is written is he was giving him an exam.
Mhm.
Will's right.
No, just that would be painful. Don't do that way.
Um,
Life is
Speaking-
painful.
speaking of reach arounds, did anybody see the Suicide Squad at all?
I did not.
I almost
what?
went, and then my sister said that she
The-
thought it was
the
too
Suicide.
silly. So
I tweeted I was going to watch it, and I'm going to watch the Suicide Squad, and I got banned.
How is it too silly?
This is my sister said she didn't enjoy it, so I didn't watch it. I will though.
So I've heard overwhelmingly positive reviews from people I know who have seen it, and my biggest question was if I haven't seen the first Suicide
You don't
Squad,
have
can
to-
I see
yeah,
this
you can-
one?
You can just jump right into it.
And I guess it's a very standalone movie, so eventually I'll find time to watch it.
I will full.
Who's
Yeah.
in it?
What? I'm sorry.
Who's in it? What?
Idris Elba, and
Mhm.
that's why I'm like,
Oh, he's in it.
John
I
Cena.
don't. I mean, John Cena's in it too. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So great.
I don't think I've ever seen a
got
bad
it's got
Idris
a
Elba
wide
movie.
range of different people, but I will admit that I
What's it about?
tried to. Would you stop fucking interrupting?
Well, I'm asking questions. Nobody cares.
I
what you have
know.
to say.
Doesn't matter. Fuck my reason for watching it. No, I just dadded this movie. Okay, 2 nights in a row. I sat down. I'm like, Suicide Squad. I've been looking forward to this. I pop open one of my Bramble mules. I drink it. I get like an hour in, and then I'm asleep.
Wait, what?
Can you watch it on TV?
You're
Right,
what?
theater?
It was on HBO.
It's on
I
HBO.
watched it on HBO
Wait.
Max. Yeah.
Yep.
You popped open your what meal?
You have to pay for it.
No.
No, just with your subscription. It's not anything extra. So
What meal
yeah,
did you
HBO
pop
Max.
open?
A Bramble Mule. It's a drink that I have. It's like you've seen me drink them on here.
I don't.
I'll
Pay
go
attention
get
to
one.
you. Sorry, I don't want to pay attention.
okay, Mister, I'm not on Twitter. It's me. You know, like I want to talk about.
You're losing friends right and left, Jack. You need
I
to
mean,
Yeah, I mean, you gotta-
StreamYard's gonna bot and ban you.
Maria Shriver is no longer my friend. So
see.
So 2 nights in a row, I
they
dadded
never
this
got
movie
anything.
where I watched it, fell asleep, drinking, finally watched the last act and loved it. So
are you saying dad did this movie? Like you're a dad?
yeah, like I dadded this. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
sat down.
Oh, okay, got it.
Sat down to watch a movie and fell asleep.
Is that a
I
Princess
dadded,
Bride
I
joke?
dadded the movie. Like
No,
I
it's not
just
Princess Bride.
cut off the whole, and then I wake up and the credits are rolling, and I'm like, fuck.
If it was a Princess Bride joke, he would say, "It took 1 whole year off my life. How does that make you feel?" But you wouldn't get that, Jack, because you haven't watched Princess Bride.
That's the humor.
I wanted to do something different for the patrons tonight for our and for the lack of me coming up with names.
What-
for them,
what-
just to say.
Before we get to that, before we get to the
No, I'm not getting to the ending yet.
Why
I'm not
don't
getting to the
you
ending yet.
dad them?
No, I'm going to do a little bit of mad libbing. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys fill in some of the blanks here. So I need a verb, any verb.
Shart.
Shart. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I see.
And now I need a noun from somebody else. A noun, any noun.
Foreskin.
Bride. Foreskin.
Foreskin.
Yeah, just going to the nether regions all the time. Go.
Maybe this was a bad idea. Okay, Jack, you're up next. I need an adjective from you.
2 pillows.
That's
2 pillows.
Okay.
Okay.
It's a plural noun, but
Okay, I'm gonna put that in the noun section. Thank you for keeping me honest.
how about fluffy?
Fluffy? Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Okay.
All right, Nick, to you, an adverb.
Did we just do an adverb?
No, we did an adjective. Fluffy. An adverb is
I was told there'd be no math.
I know exactly. This one was like, "Fuck, I haven't done this since like 5th grade."
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember that.
Jack's googling what is
adverb.
No, I'm trying to remember that Saturday morning thing. A noun
Pass.
is a person, place, or a thing.
Pass.
all right. Give me a noun.
Yeah, I know nouns.
Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Person, place, or thing, right?
Stump.
I can't say that.
Stump. I like.
Why are you asking me and you don't take my?
No, I asked Nick. Nick was
Oh.
next. I needed one from
Nick
him.
passed.
I got
Nick
Fluffy
passed.
from you.
I passed on adverb.
You passed on adverb, so it goes to you, Jack, because I already got 2 from Chris. I need an adverb from you. Okay, it can be an adjective. Okay?
Frequently.
Ooh, boom.
Because adverb's an action. Verb is an action, right? Action.
Verb.
Describing action.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a noun.
How,
Jack.
time, where, how, when.
A noun.
Mhm.
Tom Brady. I guess I have more respect for Tom Brady today.
Is that? I guess it is a noun. Is a person a noun?
It says
Person, place, or thing.
Yeah.
Person, place, or thing.
Okay.
Okay,
A noun is a person, place, or
now
thing.
I need a verb.
Running.
Running. All right.
There you go.
I think we're
Jack's
about done. Okay, now
Jack-
we can go on
Jack
to the
remembers
rest of
the
the
Saturday
show.
morning cartoons.
So
Thanks, guys. This is
Stink
gonna
pipe.
be great.
That would have been a good one.
keeping in the vein of the TV and movies and shows and stuff. I actually started watching C on Apple Plus, Apple TV Plus.
See.
C as an SEE, like Vision.
Oh, okay.
Fucking cool, man. Like I decided to watch it because I know season 2 is coming out soon.
Now, is the only way to get Apple TV is to have an Apple TV?
no,
What's the other ways you can get it?
pretty much every other way. So Apple TV
You just have
Plus
to download the app.
is a subscription. It's the app already lives in your phone when you get your phone. It's on
Yeah.
iPad.
Well,
You can download it. I have it on my TV's operating system. I have the app on my TV. So
okay, that's what I meant. Like, yeah, like
yeah.
But anyways,
So the story is very, very cool. So it's a post-apocalyptic world where a disease ravaged the world in very apropos. You know, it actually came out about a year before. Oh yeah, Miami Mike. Yeah, I'll get to that in a second. But the show is about this world in which this disease took away vision from everybody. So it's like a genetic mutation that causes everyone born to be blind. And then there's the main characters. There's a few different main characters. I'm not sure, but I think one of the characters is the girl from Loki. I might be wrong about that. I'm gonna double check in a second. But anyways, there's two characters in the show that actually do have vision, and they grow up having vision, and it's a really interesting look at how the world just kind of like devolves into this like almost unrecognizable civilization where they revert to different types of like deities and this type of the other, and how they try to bring these two kids to like to profit out to the prophecy of like being able to repopulate the world of folks who can see.
Didn't Sandra Bullock do a movie like this though?
It was Bird Box.
Bird Box, yeah. Wasn't it
Where
similar?
she was blindfolded.
Yeah, because if you looked at it, you'd go blind, right, or something like that.
That was Netflix.
No, it'd kill you. It was kind of
So
like
the only similarity is
but they can't
they
see.
couldn't see.
Okay.
Because they're blind. But the show is actually really, really cool. I mean, I'm enjoying. I'm almost through the first season. It's a very interesting watch. Yeah, well, it's TV show on Apple TV Plus. This next season's coming out, and Dave Bautista is part of the cast for season 2. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm enjoying it, man. It's a lot of fun. Like it's definitely a different take on that type of science fiction-y post-apocalyptic stories.
I might check that out. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. But Jason Momoa is in it. I want to pull up the cast and crew real quick. C cast.
You think he does steroids?
Jason Momoa?
Probably.
I don't know.
So, Nesta Cooper.
Have you seen him on Baywatch, and then you see him on?
Oh no, she was okay. She's from Travelers. That's who it was. The African American woman from Travelers, the one who has the kid.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that's who I was confused. I think I actually confused her with the woman from Loki as well. They look very, very similar.
First, I thought you were going to say it was Carl Weathers.
No.
Okay.
No.
He's not.
I loved him in Rocky. I mean, no.
You fucked up the joke.
Star Wars. Damn it. Yeah.
It worked. He was great in Rocky.
It was great in Rocky.
But yeah, it's got a very decent cast. A lot of people no-name actors, but you have Jason Momoa is kind of the lead role. But he's actually, it's interesting how you think of him as a lead role, but it's almost like there's like multiple leads in the show as the first season progresses. It really kind of takes the story spotlight from Jason Momoa, who's like kind of like the chief of this tribe, but then the kids become super important because these kids are growing up with vision. So the focus of the story kind of starts to follow them. And Momoa almost becomes like a supporting role in the show.
So is this a different world, or is it?
No, it's Earth. It's Earth. Yeah. So
in the future,
in like 1,000 or few thousand years in the future,
okay,
the whole Earth is like overgrown and civilization has declined, and literally the only people on Earth are blind. Wow. Everybody on Earth is blind. So it's like how they built like their civilizations up and how they rebuilt society, and you know. There's one group of people who actually live in a dam in Pennsylvania, and it's renamed to worship the god that they create to answer their questions. And there's like these people who are kind of.
I always think about that with like things that like, people would look back 1,000 years and find our things and be like, oh, they worshipped these things,
right?
Exactly. They traded them like money.
Well, hold on a second. You do.
No,
but as an archaeologist, you would know, because think about if you actually did find Star Wars figures in every home, which a lot of people have, especially
or
Jay's
any
home.
kind of figure.
There's a lot of little gods that Jay has in his room.
Yeah, for sure. It is. Good.
Yeah, it's Anyways, it's rad, man. Like it's a really cool.
And there's
storytelling.
There's 2 seasons or just 1 season?
There's 1 season out now. The second season, I believe, comes out next month or soon-ish.
I will check that. I think I remember seeing that came out when it first Apple.
Yeah, that was one of the launch titles of the Apple TV Plus subscription. It was one of the first.
Because I thought it was like he does a show. I think it's on Netflix. Frontier had 3 seasons. And I thought, that's just another Frontier show. That's why I didn't watch it. But now it has a whole new meaning now.
It's really cool how they kind of like tell the story about how their other senses are heightened.
It's not like supernatural in any sense whatsoever. It's but it's really cool to kind of see the methodology they use to film this show of like the different things they do to try and sense
Plus
the air and
the acting has to be different too. Because
it's wild. It's actually really, really cool. And I believe I may be wrong about this, but I remember when they first started premiering the idea for the show and how it was going to be coming out on Apple TV Plus. I believe that they actually do have like there was a significant contribution from folks who are visually impaired and how to make the movie and how to make it right. So, yeah, definitely check it out. It's
all right, I will check that out because I saw him because I liked him in Frontier and some other things. Obviously, Game of Thrones. So I will check that out. Is it as good as Ted Lasso though?
I mean, that's pretty tough. So I ordered a jersey.
Nice.
I got a Roy Kent jersey on its way from, which is weird because the Warner Brothers owns the rights, I believe, to all the marketing of the show.
Huh.
So you have to get their swag from the Warner Brothers store.
Have you been watching season 2?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I love his. I don't want to spoil anyone, but
Led Tasso?
You guys talk. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys, but I'm not going to listen.
No, I'm talking about the listeners. I really didn't care about anybody here in the chat. No, I'm just saying that where his new job. Let's say how he.
Oh, Roy Kent's new job.
Yeah, how
he.
Yeah.
It's brilliant,
and it's really what people want to hear.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right, Matt, you can come back.
Yeah, I remember bringing this up when it came out like a month ago or so. Did anyone ever get around to watching A Quiet Place Part 2?
I never saw the first one.
I saw the first one.
Man, yeah, like Chris, you should watch.
Yeah, so I don't like those movies. Like the whole monster thing is like.
It's not
that.
It's more of a suspense family movie than anything else. Because like the first one, yes, you do have these creatures that are trying to kill you, but you rarely see them. It's more the first one is more about like the dad and the mom trying to help guide their children through this new world that nobody knows shit about because they just know that something's trying to kill them. And so it's like, how do we protect and teach our children to survive?
Yeah.
The second one is a continuation of that. But whereas in the first one is more about the parents, the second one is really more about the kids and how they have begun to learn to survive. And I think they're great little films.
Yeah.
I like the first one. It was good.
The themes you're mentioning, you would really like to see. Like, I mean, I think that's because that it doesn't just focus on like the two kids and how they're doing it. It really shows how humanity did it. You know,
well, that's what made me think of it. Is that you talking about that? It's like, oh, it kind of reminds me of A Quiet Place.
Yeah.
I still got to finish For All Mankind. I'm still watching.
Chugging away at that.
John apparently just wants us to end the show so we can get to Matt's libs.
To Matt's
Let's do it.
Okay, fine. We'll end it now. Oh, I need one more adjective.
That's next department.
One adjective.
Crusty.
Crusty?
Crusty.
All right. This is fun. Hopefully the patrons enjoy this and they don't leave us. Maybe I'll do it next week.
Better hope we like it. Or,
whoa, hey.
You know.
Do I have you read it or should I read it? I should probably.
I'm gonna let you take the credit and or blame for this one.
Okay, that sounds fair. If you like what we do, thank you.
And
we appreciate it. Send us an email to rcadcast@gmail.com. Follow us over on Twitter. We are back on Twitter because somehow we figured out our password, and that's helpful.
That is pretty. I gotta say, the new password made me laugh.
Yeah, that was
that was pretty funny. Was that you?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, okay, that was pretty funny.
I'll share it with you guys afterwards.
Because I think I temporarily got us banned on that one too.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think that's because my Crackpot Sports one is banned.
Oh, wow.
I don't know how they haven't gotten to Crazy Ink TV yet, but I'm not. Whatever.
They're coming for you.
Oh, dude, they're banning your entire existence.
Exactly.
This is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Randy said the new password made him laugh too.
Thanks for tweeting it out.
Oh, that was a secret?
Forever
Yeah.
in Blue Jeans 54.
Yeah, I can only imagine if we just handed over the Twitter account to Randy. What's
Well, last week
it would just be.
Chris. Last
We'll
week
take
we
the
had,
reins.
we had a special guest last week.
We did, yeah. Filling in. We were just kind of running out of gas, and then JP jumped on, and we.
I sent him the link. I just said, "Shit, fuck it."
He actually.
I didn't think we were running out of gas. We got to a dispute, and we needed JP's opinion. I thought
Was
Is
it
that what it
about the
was?
hands?
or something.
Jack just created a fucking alternate reality. And Nick brought us back. No, Jack, we actually called him with purpose.
Well, the thing was that he actually sent us the link. Like, I don't know if you noticed that, but Jack sent us.
Yeah, and Jack totally became an old man too. Like, I sent him the link. I don't know why he's not answering. He's like, send it to us, Jack. He's like,
My bad. Hey,
Let's not be an ageist,
allegedly,
That's true,
allegedly, I might have been drinking.
because teenagers do the same thing.
I might have been drinking, but of course, Matt was higher than a kite. So
Yeah, I don't
balance
know.
that. No, yeah, you
I
were.
think-
Yeah, you were.
No,
Yeah, you were.
no.
Okay. I had a little.
I
bit to drink.
think you were doing.
You had that glazed look on your.
I always have that glazed look on my
So, do you remember when I was a fat baby?
That was this week.
So good.
I had the munchies of the baby.
Fat baby fat.
All right, Mad Libs.
All right, Mad Libs. Thanks
Hey,
for joining us
that's a good-
this week. Head over to jayandjack.com. Click on the Patreon link.
Was Leonard okay? I learned it from you, Dad.
There's a few patrons that make this show possible, and at this point, we will read Matt's Libs.
That's a great title for the show, though.
Matt will read Matt's Libs.
I will read Matt's Lids. Lids?
Oh wait, so you made a Mad Lib out of the words that you asked us for to describe
That's what he said.
The
he was gonna
patrons,
do.
yeah.
Dude, that's fucking lazy. You're outsourcing your job.
Yeah.
I'm being creative, okay?
No,
He is
And
a
also,
creative
you,
one.
you,
And
you
then
also were
he
you were
is a
not
starving
forthcoming
artist.
with what these words are going to be used for.
And
I
you
think
can
I
explain
think
what
I
this
was
is.
pretty clear.
Had I known
I got
what
it back.
these adverbs,
I got it back.
adjectives, nouns, and verbs would be going to, I probably would have been way nicer.
Yeah.
But I think
All
this is part of
right,
your
patrons,
master plan.
This
You're
is
playing with
from the
fire.
other
We
guys.
could lose patrons because of this.
I gotta
Yeah.
defend. I gotta defend Matt on this. I understood the whole time what. We
Thank
I
you.
didn't.
Thank you.
You said no. He said I've got something for the listeners.
I'm thinking he
No.
created a nice little story that we were going
Okay,
to help
okay.
He
build.
said,
and create
he
a
said I'm going to
show.
do something different,
Well,
and you guys are going to help out.
Yeah.
You're going to help me come up with the thing. What I do with the patrons.
I did. I
bullshit.
said that.
He said- he
Don't
said-
remember that.
And look,
No,
I'm
no,
not.
no,
I,
don't
I
be
don't
a
always
millennial
defend.
and say
I
I
don't
was
always
loaded.
defend Fat Baby, but Fat Baby was right on this one.
fat baby.
He was only fat.
That's
for like
fine.
2
I would like that if that was my nickname for the rest of my life. Hey, fat baby, come over here. And I'm
Hey,
like,
fat
an
baby.
old man that's all
Fat
wrinkly
Baby
and skinny.
forever trying to fit in his blue jeans.
All right, remember, patrons, these names came from the minds of the other three. And just keep in mind, we had a very, very sincere, powerful first half hour.
We did, and it was.
We
It
did.
was,
And
it,
went
start,
to
it,
shit
it
real
started with
quick
Nick's, Nick's great song.
And on that note, I would like to thank Shart Tack, Tom Brady, Krusty Eckhart Foreskin Richter, Fluffy Ed Two Pillows, Maggie Frequently Running, and Joanne with the Stump Stink Pipe. Thank you for doing what you do, for making this show possible. That was probably one of the best ones. And I promised Sherry that I would do it this week. This was a great show. It was 1 in a million. Thanks for joining us live. Appreciate
That was the best one ever.
Bravo, everybody else but Matt, because we fucking did it.